previously on our adventures in the world of The Witcher, the group had arrived at the newly formed lodge and met with the 3 sorceresses there. After some initial pleasantries, the sorceresses demanded the group's help. Asked for it, demanded, there was kind of a fine line there, to resolve a personal issue. The upcoming grand opening gala of the lodge, which will attract many important mages and locals, is currently threatened by some recent disappearances of local younglings. The incident have made nearby towns and villages hostile towards the lodge, potentially damaging their reputation with the guests that they will be hosting. The sorceresses want the matter resolved quickly, and in return offer to share some valuable knowledge and provide access to a knowledgeable mage who is likely to attend the gala. And so, last we played, you had all just set out from the lodge to head towards the nearby valley where some of these communities are located. Alright, so as you all set out from the lodge and continue your journey towards the large, kind of sprawling valley that is nestled between this section of the mountains, you have a number of different locations, and Kilton, you also had a connection that you might be able to meet. You'd sent a word ahead to an old friend who potentially owed you a debt.
Yes, one town over. What's his name? Okay, Ramin. Got it. I didn't write it in my own notes. There we go.
I'll pull everybody's character tokens out for now onto...
I should draw some like dating sim like half bodies, so that when we're on like
I would love that.
That'd be very fun.
When we're on a scene, it just kind of pops up and we're just kind of like...
Could use them for the intro too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our character, Frostbeard.
Our character.
He's the leader.
Somebody needs to be.
Wow.
Certainly isn't Dandelion.
I don't think he laterally liked the group.
Yeah, we all like him. We like him because he pays us. Or will pay us eventually.
I insist I will pay you the rest when we reach Tucson. I have paid you up front some amount of money. And it's a very...
Coming with us?
Oh, do you not want me to? I could stay with them.
No,
but...
totally. You can absolutely come with us. In fact, I think it would be helpful if you did.
Well, I just didn't want to really stay with them because I thought, they might try and, I don't know, do something to me. Experiment on some...
They will
unnatural
not.
way.
Right on.
They will not.
I don't know. The way Kaspar has described mages so far isn't painting a very pretty picture, and the other ones I've met in my travels have been, well, they've kind of matched up with what Kaspar has said, so...
Kaspar is about as reliable a narrator as you are, Dandelion.
So incredibly.
That's exactly why I am just not comfortable staying there alone.
I'll take that as a compliment, Opheia.
Mage ethics are as variable as the arsenals we carry, for better or for worse. Kaspar's not incorrect, but he's not... It's not encapsulative of every mage out there.
Just most of them.
The older ones.
Have yet to meet a young mage.
They're all at school. Or in apprenticeships.
Or dead.
Or dead. That one's more likely these days.
Same is true for witches, I suppose.
Yeah.
Don't have any
Well,
teens running around. Thankfully.
many many witchers stopped with the trial of the grasses just because it became harder to replicate over the years. The only school that I know for sure is even taking in new students, and I don't even know if they're still doing the mutations, is the Cat Witchers.
Well, as good a reason as any.
Actually,
Indeed.
Developing a sense of morality would be a better reason, but we'll take it.
You know, Kaspar, that while we're traveling, it brings up an interesting point. How many of the Cat Witches are there still that you're, close with or friends with, or, family gatherings, or holidays or anything?
I don't think that's a proper lens to view it through.
Well, like the wolf witches and the griffins, they have their sort of band of compatriarchy, do the Cat Witches do something like that? Like an annual get-together over a roast beast or something?
I need to check my notes. Every time I grab my notes, just imagine me walking like Kermit, just over to my notebook here. Sorry. Where are you? There you are. Oh my god, where's the name of his fucking guy?
This fucking guy.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. Grab something. You can just cut all this out, right? Please.
Oh, sure.
Now that you fucking said it.
Yeah, you speak it into being.
No, usually anytime someone says it, then that's when I leave it in.
Oh, God. Part of the creative process.
Yeah, he, sorry. I should know these things off the top of my head, but it's been a while since I wrote them, so. Cat Witchers are generally not the closest of compatriots outside of the camps. We know we can rely on each other, but we don't form many friendships. I do have a certain fondness for the ones who are in my class, so to speak. The ones who are training at the same time as me.
Well, I would imagine so. I feel like something like that would create quite the bond between people,
Yes.
Good or bad.
Especially since so many of them died during the trials. 3 of us made it out unscathed. It was me, though everyone thought I was dead for at least 2 days. Frigg. Everyone thought she wouldn't make it through because of her gender, but she was mostly unscathed. As unscathed as a Witcher can be. Ilya is I haven't seen him in a bit longer, but he's always fairly kind to me. We traveled together for a while, the three of us, when we first set out.
So you had a merry little band. That's nice.
I wouldn't really describe it like that, but
You looked out for each other.
we had to. Our teacher was also, well, if not kind to us, then handled all the contingencies of our education. The one who picked me up was Aura. He was the one who taught us about monsters.
I always wondered what a cat witcher day at school was like. I mean, did you have little notebooks, or was it mostly just beatings and learning about things in the shadows of, I don't know, huddled?
You do arithmetic.
Things in cat witcher camps are never as bad as the rumors will say. All witchers are tortured to an extent. That's part of the training.
It sounds pretty bad.
Yes, but cat witchers are not uniquely done. We just don't have a home to go to. It was caravans, Novigrad. Walking along pipes and lines over people's houses, testing reflexes against dogs. Outside of the camp, cat witchers are solitary. Inside the camp, they trust each other and no one else.
Clannish.
Bless you,
I
Mareigh.
suppose.
It's a word.
Oh, yes. Sorry, it sounded like you, perhaps. This cold weather, it can really get to a person. I've been feeling it.
Fine. It's better than the coastline.
That's true. It smells better, too. It smells like spruce and rocks. I don't know.
Fire. I hold no ill will against the cat witchers specifically. They did what they did. What they had to.
You just resent all witchers, then, generally?
I resent that witchers exist. I resent that sorcerers at some point in the past did this to people. I resent monsters for making it necessary for us to exist. I resent humans for killing us.
I think I agree with you on some of those points. I can't deny you have a miserable existence.
Sure, there was a nicer way to put that.
Yeah, come on, we're part of his existence. It's kind of underselling us, don't you think?
This is a fair critique. You wound me, and your words strike true. My apologies, even to Kaspar.
I think I perverted when you just insulted me.
Ooh, we should ask more questions. Do you remember the first time you ever took a life?
What kind of question is that?
It's a long... I just thought we could be a little more vulnerable out here.
Why am I the one who is under the microscope then?
Oh, this was for everybody. Would you like me to go first?
Ooh.
Yes, fine. Go for it.
Okay, back home in Nilfgaard. I was about to say... I'd like to say that I was able to slit a soldier's throat being where he shouldn't be, but he wasn't that clean. But it's, I suppose, why I'm hesitant to do it. If you do it cleanly, it's not as impactful, I guess.
Do you have some sordid secret past as an assassin, Opheia?
No, I just was holding on to some goods, and I wasn't very good at lying as to what I was doing with them.
Oh, classic mistake. Yes, I always say get good at lying before getting the goods, and then you'll have less throats to slit. It's never going to be 0, mind you. Understandable.
I just try to do more honest work these days instead, actually.
Even better. That's either true if you've gotten very good at lying.
I've actually lost curiosity for this line of questioning.
What?
It's good because I don't remember. I'm old. I'm an old woman, you see. Memory starts to go sometimes.
I don't believe that for a moment.
It was probably a bandit tried to rob me and Danilo on the road when we were traveling.
Mine was
it's never clean when I kill someone.
Ooh, explode.
Explode.
You should slit
shrivel.
some throats. It'd be actually no, don't do that.
Don't wish to do that. I don't like
throat.
As brutal as magic is, I don't relish in killing. I didn't. I only fought at Sodden because I was asked to, and I didn't. It was one of the worst days of my life.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, magic is terrifying and messy and exacting and extremely good at killing people in large quantities, and I don't prefer to use it that way. Doesn't mean I won't, but I don't prefer it. So what do we think is taking these children?
I'm sure it's not the sorceresses.
I'm fairly certain it's not the sorceresses. They
probably would have told us to look into it.
Yes, they would not have told us to look into it, and they came here to have a refuge. They wouldn't immediately start antagonizing the people around them.
I don't know, it does seem a bit suspicious that they show up and then the children start going missing. I think Kaspar might be onto something.
But if a Witcher school also showed up, needed some more recruits.
They wouldn't take this many at once. As far as if we have more details, it could be something trying to enact a fertility rite of some sort. It could be we don't have really the general exact ages of all the children. We don't have the genders or the frequency in which they go missing. It's impossible to say.
There are monsters that specifically seek out the flesh of children. Like in stories. Monster lore is not my forte.
Old hags in the woods promise sweets and then eat the children up.
Hags really exist? I thought they were just stories.
You see him all the time, playing chess in the park or gossiping at some, corner store. Maybe.
I always thought the hags and stories were just twisted mischaracterizations of wise women that people didn't respect, didn't understand.
What we know is hags are not actually... They don't hunt children specifically. They live by waterways. I was making a jest, as you all would probably put it.
We also don't know the living conditions of this village. It's not unheard of for people to seek greener pastures, even if they are young.
It just seemed like an odd time to leave, and all of them so soon after one another.
I'd like
if they were all going to leave, they would leave as a group.
I'd like to conduct interviews before speculating more. And also, Kaspar, you didn't answer my question. When was the first time you ever rode a horse?
When Aura picked me up from my home, our family had a mule. I was not allowed near it. I got on a horse. I thought it was just a very large mule with spindly legs. He tried to have me ride it for a little bit, and I fell off immediately.
Was the mule okay? Oh, horse. Sorry. Even I'm lost now.
I had never seen a horse before that time.
Right.
I've always liked mules more.
I like the swiftness of a horse. Mules are better companions.
They'll bite things for you, so you don't have to.
Don't I know it?
Horses, I don't know, but we have a mule in the party, right?
Yeah, I have a mule.
What's your mule's name?
Okay.
Doesn't matter. I'll say. You should ask your mule when the first time it took a life was.
Probably doesn't remember either.
Not relevant for the
Not relevant. I think
mule.
I named it.
I forgot. It's been so long.
There's been so many. You can't even put them together.
So many. I mean, hey, Frostbeard does kind of a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
I named him after the boss that I liked, so Corum. Corum. Though his personality is more like his son. Average mule. At least mules can't get handsy.
Zephyr.
Yes.
I know I said I wasn't going to speculate more, but may I roll Lore Keeper to see if there's any sort of monsters that come to mind that might scoop up the youths?
Absolutely, yeah.
Scoop the youths.
While you are all having your discussions here, if you'd like to roll a Lore Keeper, and if Kaspar wants to do a Witcher training, and if everybody else wants to do either education or, I think, Mareigh, you have
my magical training.
Magical training.
I'll do that.
Probably education would be more, just like standard education would be more adept here, just because magical training is generally more specific for that. But
I'll do regular education. Let's just see. Magical training is more for like things that I can immediately see.
Yeah.
Hey, not bad.
Not too bad, yeah. All right. And Kilton, do you want to do an education too, or?
Yes. Adding some shit to my journal. Education. Woo!
Woo!
Ooh,
Still didn't
nice.
beat the Witcher training though, but I'll take it.
All right.
We're all
So-
smart.
Yeah, with a 19
We're
and
smart.
a 19.
Wait, no, make Dandelion do one.
Okay, yes, of course.
But
Oh,
he's
you
not
just
to.
gotta School
It's
us
just
like
along
he
for the
did with
ride.
The music. What do you get?
Oh, that's I must be on my mouse. I guess that's what's causing the rolls. That was
It
the
might be
random
if
body
you have-
location roll, not his execution check.
Memory is stored in the left leg.
Yeah. Pretty good.
If you have the
Oh.
numbers key bound to macros, I found that'll roll shit randomly.
Yeah, and
automatically.
my mouse is like one of those stupid MMO ones that has like a
buttons on the
bunch of
side.
buttons.
So many buttons.
I
that
have
I never
one and
use.
it's keyed to back, and I need to change that.
Yeah.
Because that's always annoying.
I have
So
mine keyed to number keys, and sometimes my mic cord will hit them, and it's so annoying.
Mareigh and Opheia with 19s each, you kind of piece together the information that has been provided, which is pretty sparse at this point. And the information that you kind of have so far is that there's been a handful of teenagers, children that have gone missing from the surrounding communities, and this has been over the last few weeks, with the most recent being a couple of days ago. And basically, from the information that was given, it could be a lot of different things. And with a 19, you would suspect that it could be some type of monster, like a grave hag, who do tend to prey more like specifically on children. It's hard to say without knowing like if the children disappeared from their home or from like a nearby location. And from what you understand, they haven't all disappeared from the same village. It's been a few different villages in this valley area. So it's hard to say if it's, even necessarily connected. It could be a series of things that are occurring. And then Kaspar and Kilton and Julian as well. You would be able to kind of put some of these things together, and the evidence doesn't really suggest that it would be like a wild animal. Anything like that wouldn't make sense being from the various villages. It would make more sense that people were getting attacked from one area. And so something like a grave hag, or potentially like a werewolf, or something that might roam around and prey on weaker children could be an option. And let me see if there's anything else that you would maybe piece together from that. Let's see.
Makes sense.
Yeah, again, it's hard without having a bit more knowledge, so it's going to be hard to. But yeah, mainly it would be something that hunts in a wide area. So something like a werewolf potentially, or something like a grave hag. Most other monsters that you could think of wouldn't necessarily fit the MO of a fairly large area.
Or yeah.
A werewolf would be a problem.
It's already a problem, no matter what it is. It could
Werewolves
just be some weirdo, and
it's a problem because werewolves are hard to kill.
Right, that's true. Your average, creepy old man in the woods is not.
It
What about
also could just be a person.
What about a
But-
hag? Hag's easy to kill, hard to kill. On a scale of werewolf to old man, where does a hag fall?
Additionally, all of you would have the educated sense to know that it's very potentially just a human as well that could be behind
Yeah.
this.
Some stalker, serial killer, or some shit.
I think
Yeah.
that's where all of our minds went to. It's just like,
Yeah.
this could also just be a guy.
A guy with a cabin in the
A
woods.
Forrest Gramps type.
Yeah.
Or a Hungry Herman type.
We found Hungry
Never
Herman's
know.
father.
Or is it possible that the marks that have appeared on people, some of them have been driven mad? It could be a person who has been driven to
Insanity or desperate acts.
Oh yeah.
yes.
There's people that believe in the gods and that enough blood sacrifice can petition you for a favor.
Make your arm go back to normal.
Make my arm go back to normal. Have the blood of half a dozen children.
I
Yes.
never even thought of that.
If they're in pairs too,
Oh.
ritual sacrifice is
Oh,
one boy, one girl.
that's true.
Is the most common type. But we won't know until we
Get there and
Talk to
start
people.
talking.
I think at this point Kaspar puts on the sunglasses, the colored glasses he was given.
Tinted.
He kind of like turns to the group and says, "Do I look normal?"
You look mysterious, but
You look too cool to be normal. Come on, man.
You look
Save
like-
some for the rest of us.
you look like hired security, which helps.
Maybe
Have
a
you
note
been-
grad,
Have you
not a
been to this
peer.
town before, Kaspar? Do we need a pseudonym for you?
I don't recall if I've been here before.
Do you want us to use a pseudonym?
I don't think that it matters much if people know who I am. If they know who I am, they already know I'm a witcher. I'm trying to hide the fact.
Well, we could call you something else. We could call you Herman.
I prefer to be called by my name.
That's understandable. So do I. And I'm glad my name's not Herman.
My name's
Sorry to
Child.
any Hermans watching. Of course.
Sorry, Herman.
Sorry, Hermans. You guys are fine.
Watch our entire
you
audience
people,
be
in which
composed of
case-
only people named Herman because of the last couple
Yeah,
episodes.
That's one guy. Oh yeah. Wait, I love that.
It was such a strange. It's not a
Googling your
strange. Like
own-
it's an uncommon spelling too that you used.
Yeah.
Finally, a Herman whose spelling matches mine. Oh, he's a cannibal pervert. Aw.
He's a cannibal pervert being horribly
This
killed.
always happens. Every time there's a Herman with an I.
You think people with Hannibal would have a harder time, but no, it's just Herman's.
That's bad. Hungry Hannibal.
Hermanable.
Terminal Lecter.
Hermanal Lecter.
I'm afraid it's terminal.
we're creating a diss track for Hungry Herman.
Stop! The man's already dead.
Oh my god. I can't.
Just a point that popped into my head. We're not far from the town, from the sawmill where the sawmill incident happened, right? Did they tell us which town they were from?
No,
Oh,
your
no.
best guess would be that they're from the local area. And yeah, I mean, hard to say. Probably mostly from Tanserville, since that's kind of the larger city, but presumably from the
That would
areas
make
around.
sense.
Yeah.
They did. Some of them did escape, and they were going to go back to their boss. Probably going to get like beat by their boss, but still, best
Well,
be careful.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
What was it? Oh yeah, hold on. Where are we at on a map? Let me pull up on that. Because Kaspar has been here. It's not a good time for him.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
See, the problem is that Kaspar got his scar
Oh, here?
up north.
Oh,
Yeah, so as we look at the kind of rough map here of the area, the lodge there is kind of nestled up in the foothills by a lake, and the communities that are along here are kind of down in this larger valley area down here. with let's see.
Oh, nice. God, I love a good map.
Love me some maps.
I wish there was just like a little stamp tool. Maybe I should see if there's a module so I can add little stamps onto the map. Without using
Oh, if you
tiles.
find one, I would love it for my thing.
So what you can do, they have like the folder for like tiles and shit. You could just upload a bunch of like
that's true, yeah.
stamp icons and then
map
just
icons, yeah.
Keep them in a folder, open up that tile browser, open up the folder, and just drag them out. If they're the right size, they'll just be on there.
All right, so the first town. Let's see. Let me mark these out.
Small town.
It's about the
somewhere.
smallest circle that it will let me make. So.
Triangle of villages.
Yeah, kind of nestled around the exterior or perimeter of this valley, and there is the river bend, which is kind of right up here near the bend of the river, and then there is the mining camp / town. That's the Bartok Barrow mine, which is kind of up here further in the kind of more deeper foothills where the rivers are. And then I believe it is Saints Crossing is kind of across the valley here.
And kids are disappearing from all three of these places.
Yeah, and it sounded like from the information, the two most recent were from the town that was kind of closest to the lodge, which was why the tensions were kind of ramping up, because previously they had been mostly from the other two villages.
Mm.
Your best guess is that the first town along the main road, which would be Riverbend, would be coming up about half a day's journey from the lodge. You have to kind of go back down the mountain a ways and then meet up back again with the main road, so you kind of have to, it's not a straight shot from the lodge, but distance-wise it's the closest. And after an hour or so of travel, as you meet back up onto the main road, you see in the distance a small shack, a sort of roadside market stand, you might say, and kind of a clearing. You can see there's a spot to kind of pull carts off to the side of the road and visit this sort of roadside shack. You see perched on the porch outside is a kind of spindly, scrawny, very like sunburned and unwashed looking fellow with a large brimmed straw hat and kind of large... What's that?
It's Kilton's old man in the woods.
It's not Forrest Gramps.
It's Forrest Gramps.
No. The fan favorite Witcher character always begged to return.
Yes, that's the secret. Actually, this entire campaign has been leading up to meeting Forrest Gramps, who's then going to be...
He's the linchpin to all of this. He's the creature that bound us with these.
Netflix adaptation. They spent all season, and
he's the old god that bound us.
Forest,
he's our Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar is the key to all of this.
He's our Glup Shadow.
Forrest Grandpa is the key to all of this. Who's your favorite Glove Shadow of the Witcher series?
Percival. I would say Regis, but he's too much of a main character, so it's Percival.
Literally a main character. It has to be someone who's
Percival
like named
up.
Percival. Yeah. Oh, and that courtesan in Nilfgaard who was a spy, who I think Katrina was her name.
Oh.
One who was stealing state secrets from all of her clients.
Oh my God, Catherine. Catriona? No,
Catriona is the plague. I think her name was Katrine. I'm not sure.
My favorite is the Duke of Gold.
She's got a Gwent card. I know that.
King Arthur is mine.
Is your Glove Shadow? Yeah!
the cameo King Arthur.
That was Katarina.
Katarina,
Oh,
yeah.
never mind.
She's my glove
That's
shadow.
somebody else. I was thinking of somebody else.
It might be Katarina.
No.
So yes, as you approach, you see this. He's not actually that old. As you get a little bit closer, you see he's probably in like his early 40s, maybe. But he has that look of somebody who has had lived a hard life and worked hard labor for a long time, and so he has kind of just looks quite aged. As
I'm
he
23.
notes that you approach, he kind of tips his hat down a little bit, and he goes, "Oh, howdy there.
Hello.
What do you find folks doing traveling through these parts?
Just traveling.
Just traveling, eh?
Trying to make our way to the next town, yeah.
Well, it's some lovely countryside out here. If there's any roadside supplies that you might need, I've been told that the jerky that I make is some of the best
Hell yeah.
this side of Catewin. So, if you'd like some, we got all varieties. We got deer and elk and even some bear and a few other more unusual types as well.
Do you hunt the meat yourself?
I do a little bit, although nowadays I do mostly man in the store here when my contacts usually bring in what they fetch out in the wildlands.
I'm getting such severe Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Me
from this guy.
too. The best jerky in town. So tender, you say. So flavorful, you say.
It is
Private
indeed.
field, they say.
Smack dab in the middle of the 3 towns that are have all their kids missing, you say.
Just a normal man, just trying to sell some jerky.
We're just normal men. We're just regular men.
Everyone go ahead and give me an awareness or actually human perception check, depending on what you're looking for, but I'll accept either.
I love perceiving humans.
I would love to do an awareness instead of that.
I will do human perception and add some luck.
Yeah, so human perception would be more specifically for him. Awareness would kind of be for like the location. So.
I want to fucking figure out him.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, it was Cantarella. Was the
Cantarella, okay.
I was thinking of her actual name, but I didn't get that right either. But
love a girl boss. Love a girl boss who steals state secrets.
All right. Opheia and Kilton both... Oh, let's see. Opheia's Kilton, yours isn't a work. I've got 2 awareness and 2 human perception. So, Opheia with a 15 on the human perception. Looking at this person, you see, again, those kind of most obvious features of somebody who has worked and lived like a hard life. You also note that he does have like a fairly distinctive and large kind of scar across like his neck, like almost he'd been in a fight and had lost quite badly. You see that he kind of favors his left side as the right side, where the large scar is kind of visible on his neck, presumably leads further down. It looks as though somebody had kind of like hewn at him and he managed to survive. But and then with Mareigh's 19 on a human perception check, you also notice that he has kind of that air, the kind of shifty-eyed, kind of scanning each of you. Doesn't seem necessarily frightened, but just seems kind of unsure of a group of travelers who he hasn't necessarily encountered that are different than the normal ones he would see, right? Obviously, it's not unusual for travelers and merchants that he hasn't met before to come through, but you all kind of have a little bit of a different look, so he's noticed that about you. Kaspar with the... so you did an awareness check as well as Kilton. So Kilton with your 16, taking a look around here at this kind of roadside, farm stand shack, you see that there are a number of sort of tables set out with produce and you see pelts and, some basic camping and, traveling gear, right? Ropes and lantern oil and things of that nature, as well as you notice that the shack itself appears to be both his homestead, which is kind of a third of the building, and then this kind of larger covered section, as well as a kind of closed off section that you can see. There's kind of a pot-bellied stove through the window, and then like indoor sort of almost like maybe a little saloon at some point, but it doesn't seem to be up and running at this point. And then Kaspar with a 19, slightly higher, you're able to kind of get a clearer glimpse inside of this saloon or closed section of the shop, and you can see the tables are quite dusty. It seems as though it's not just he's not open today. It seems like he hasn't run this saloon in some time. You see that really the only spots that seem to be well maintained are the tables out front under this covered section of the roadside, where there's, you know, his kind of bagged up selections of dried meats, as well as those produce and other supplies mentioned previously.
The jerky.
This guy is so suspicious.
But everybody's going to be suspicious if we're doing a mystery. I heard closed off section of the homestead, and I was like, oh, that's suspicious. No, it's not. That's just how houses are.
Yeah, that's kind of super normal.
I'm not allowed there. I don't live here.
Do you see much custom this late in the season in the towns, or do you just primarily sell to travelers and merchants that they come through?
Well, this late in the season is almost early in the season, so, you know, we start to see people coming through more regularly, but mostly just the fur traders and hunters and the occasional supply run up to town. But it's usually pretty quiet. Leaves me a lot of time to think.
I'm sorry, we didn't get your name.
Oh, that's right. Well, folks around here mostly just call me Dusty.
That explains the boots and the hat. I mean...
And the face, and the body, and the clothes, and
the homestead.
People been telling me that's a suit and name, so...
Are you sure you don't want to go by Dusty? Yeah, fine.
Well... It does. I'm Opheia, and if I may ask, you just to me seem like a man of the woods. Have you happened to encounter any Druid circles lately? I have a problem that I think only they can remedy.
Oh, I haven't seen no... I don't got no Druids around here. We got... the big wood up the road a little ways. It's kind of center of the valley towards the northern end there. Don't know about no druids there, though. Some folks say it's a magical wood, but I ain't never seen nothing there myself, except for wild boars and bears and occasionally a rabbit or two.
What about it do people think it's magical?
Well, you know, these days people don't get out as much, and so anything they're not as familiar with, it's rough terrain out there. It's hard to develop, and, well, people don't really head out there that much, except for the occasional... It's easier places to hunt, easier places to log. You don't really have much reason to go there, so the folks that do, rumors come back, you know, but...
Wild limb that resists change. Huh. Interesting.
Have you heard anything about missing kids in the surrounding areas?
I did hear about that. Some of the messengers came through, and they've been spreading word about it. Seems like it seems like a real problem.
Seen any of them passing through, heading down south?
Seems like a common way they'd come if they were runaways.
Can't say that I have, but, you know, see a lot of folk pass by and don't always take the closest look at them. Sometimes I'm not out front, so...
Can I give a little check to see how he's reacting to like our continued questioning?
Sure. Yeah. You can do either another human perception if you'd like, if you're kind of looking at his like body language and his reaction there, or if you want to kind of look for something else, you could potentially do like a social etiquette check if you're kind of seeing like.
I'll do social etiquette.
Yeah.
Not great.
Not too bad for this in this circumstance. More than enough. You get the impression like this isn't that odd of a conversation to have. If you're travelers coming through an area, that's kind of this guy's job. He kind of just like is there to talk to people and potentially try and sell his stuff. And so, you've seen roadside market stands and stuff pretty regularly. It's not that weird to ask about the local news, and if there's hot gossip, it's not that weird to talk about it. So you get the impression like he's probably fine with this.
All right, cool.
That's how news spreads back here.
It's how news spreads when you don't have a postal office. All right. Anybody need a refill on jerky? Shall we keep going?
I want some
I
intensive.
offer you all samples if you'd like. It
Yes,
really is one of the best.
Sure.
I've won a couple of awards, and well, can't say it'll stand up to anybody who's had fancier and more civilized places. But if you're looking for some good old frontier jerky, and it's pretty up there, I'd say. Here, let me turn it. He gets up, kind of staggers over. You can see he's walks with quite a heavy limp on his left side, kind of dragging his foot almost, and walks over to his table where he's got kind of his provisions laid out. Opens up kind of one of his kind of parchment paper bags, and hands out some samples of some dried meats.
Does the way
I'll take some.
I'll take some. Does the way he walked like remind me of like a badly healed critical wound or something?
Yes, if you'd like, you could roll a medicine or a first aid check to see if you could kind of diagnose more.
First aid is not my strong suit, so, but let's do 49. Oh no!
Oh.
That's a bad fumble. That's a bad fumble. One.
Yeah. Luckily,
That's like
it's not on
Kaspar
something.
fumble.
Luckily, it's not anything too important. So
It's just trying to like look at this man's gait. Like this man's got an odd gait.
you can see that he's definitely had some sort of traumatic injury, but it's really hard to tell like what it could have been. So
I was also gonna ask to do that, but now I'm like scared to roll for it.
Let's do it.
I'm
No,
not
do
good at
it.
first aid.
Do it. You understand?
I am much worse at crafting.
I'm just gonna whisper to Mareigh and go like, Mareigh, are you sad or angry? It's hard to tell from your
Thinking.
expression.
This is my thinking face. I'm surprised you don't know something about me already.
Also not great.
yeah, it's hard to
That
tell.
barely rolled. That like skipped and was like,
Oh, thank God.
oh thank God.
Opheia. So first off, with Mareigh and then Kaspar, as he's kind of handing out the samples, he does kind of start to notice that you are like kind of like noticing his leg. And then Opheia, with yours, with a 21, you get the impression, or you can definitely tell with a 21, that this seems like it was essentially a very severe leg fracture that probably didn't heal correctly. Your best guess would be something like falling from a horse or getting trampled, some sort of riding injury likely that maybe shattered his femur and just didn't ever really heal properly. You can see that his kind of knee and foot are kind of like not mangled, but just like you can see they're kind of twisted in an unnatural way that like without modern medicine just wasn't able to heal right. As he notices kind of that Mareigh and Kaspar have noticed his leg, he goes, yeah, well, my younger days, I wasn't always, got off to a rough start in life, and, well, it didn't treat me too well,
Don't know if you want apologies for it, but doesn't feel right to give.
Well, it's my own fault. The own trouble I got into and paid the price. And, well, a lot of other people paid a higher price than that. So it was my burden to live with. But sorry if it's off-putting to y'all folks. It's
Not at all. We apologize for staring. We'll be on our way. Thank you for your time and the jerky samples.
Of course.
I'm not going to buy anything.
Maybe on our way back in. We are on a bit of a timetable, remember?
Kaspar will buy some jerky.
All right. Go for it.
I'll buy some
Jerky.
some
Go for
venison
elk.
jerky.
Yeah, it is really quite tasty jerky. You all, those of you who try a sample, it is really, really tasty. Well seasoned, well preserved. It's fairly masterfully crafted, as far as you can tell. You get the impression that these would basically be kind of like an upgraded trail ration, so lightweight and don't spoil, but would still give you a meal bonus of 1 probably instead of just being a flat.
Nice.
Nice.
Can I buy
They are, let me see here.
It does end up being kid. I don't know.
May do a whatever skill encompasses musculature analysis.
Physique. Oh, analysis.
He's selling them for 10 crowns a piece, for per bag. So
Oh,
you know how expensive jerky is.
I'll buy 1 bag.
This is just Josh. This is
Oh,
just
That doesn't charge enough for its fucking jerky.
yeah.
As you guys are buying your jerky and getting ready to go, he says, "Y'all want to see my stick collection? I got it out back."
If this guy is a serial killer, I'm gonna be really sad.
Yeah, no, this is the obvious red herring.
I know.
Yeah, I can't. Literally, you can't compare if he's a serial killer, you can't compare him to one of our good friends.
No,
You did it
Okay.
first.
I did it first, and I feel bad now. I hope this guy is not the killer. Please don't be killing and skinning and eating kids.
The killer.
The kid killer.
So yes, his jerkies are priced at 10 per bag, basically 10 per ration. They will give you the benefits of a simple meal and will last a day. So instead of a trail ration, which basically just keeps you from starving, this is actually pretty hearty. So
I do plan on asking the
I'll take it
sorceresses to pay us a fuck ton of gold for our work in this.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, normally I'm favor with mages, but no, this one we fucking need money. We need money so fucking bad, and I know they got a decent amount of it. So
as you are wrapping up your time here at Dusty's roadside shack, you notice a figure approaching from the direction of the town. You go ahead and give me an awareness check for those
Avarnis.
who are there.
Avarnis.
Ooh, Opheia. Honestly,
Opheia, let's go,
On
girl.
edge. That's the anxiety kicking in.
Just like in
I'll take
real
it.
life. Put 2 luck into this. Aw, man.
Oh,
Okay.
beans.
So
Oh, please.
18, 21, and 22. Kaspar is probably really quite absorbed with buying some jerky and just kind of, notices that someone is approaching but doesn't take too much of attention. And you notice that this figure is not on horseback or anything, seems to be walking or almost kind of power walking at a fairly decent gait, and moving fast but not sprinting. And seems to be dressed fairly colorfully. Kilton and
Oh god,
Mareigh,
it's a bard.
both of you note those same features and the same characteristics. Mareigh, you see in addition to this that this figure seems to have a fairly flowing, almost kind of traveling cloak of some sort, but it seems to be almost in multi pieces, like a draped traveling cloak, sort of. And Kilton, with a 21, you seem to notice that this character appears to be somewhat familiar to you. And you actually do recognize this as the figure of Ramin, the person that you had sent note to. And you...
was fast.
Opheia.
Why is fast walking?
He's power walking.
This is like a summon in Dragon's Dogma or something.
No, he's ready to pay off his debt.
Yeah.
Give him an easy one.
They can buy some more gaudy cloaks.
Opheia, 26. Additionally to those other details, you obviously don't recognize this person, but you pick up those other visual cues. You also hear a distinctive sound, and it sounds similar to like a harmonica almost. You see that he is sort of playing an instrument as he walks along. As he notes the group at the roadside stand, he kind of slips the instrument into his pocket, and you notice that he is wearing kind of a bright red, colorful turban and this traveling cloak, well worn, but like well maintained. You can see he's traveled many miles in this gear, and it has suited him well. As he notes you all, he goes, hello, my friends. Is that Kilton of Spala I see there?
Yes, it is. Ramin.
I thought I recognized that face.
Did you call him a bard?
I did not. He's a mathematician.
Indeed, I am. I am a man of many talents, and I have been practicing. I have found that if I walk at a decent pace and I practice my instrument, I can actually do both at the same time. I can make good time. It would be easier if I had a camel or a horse or a mule or anything to ride on, but, not all of us can be so lucky.
Camel. I'd love to play a camel.
It really makes you focus on your breathing, which is excellent.
Makes sense.
But hello, my old friend, and hello, new friends. I hope that you are all well. I see you have met Dusty. I hope you have picked up some of his delicious meats. They are really good.
Yes, I did not, but maybe I will. I'll chip in 10 gold for a fucking jerky.
Dusty, my old friend, I would like a bag of the venison and the boar. The boar is really good. You should try that one. It's spicy. I like it.
Spicy?
Maybe too spicy.
I called you in, you won't be paying for your own food. Let me cover it.
Oh, no, not... Please, Kilton.
Please, I insist.
Oh,
it's the least I can do.
If you insist, then I insist you do.
Yes, exactly. You gotta play businessman's chicken first. Actually, do you have chicken jerky by any chance?
Chicken would not jerky very well.
I don't have fat in it.
Whatever. I don't know that. I'm not a farmer. The first life I took was a chicken on my father's farm. I tripped and fell over and landed on it.
Oh god, just like Chainsaw Man.
What? Just like, oh my god. Never mind.
We're counting if animal dice count, then it's definitely something in Aratusa then.
Oh god, you exploded some poor rat.
You know that they were using it like toads and newts and rats for experiments. You know they were doing that.
You exploded a bird like in Shrek.
Yeah.
Blew a frog up like a balloon.
What he did to that snake was fucked up.
Hey, did you go to school with Fiona?
I did. Fiona. She was quite a talented girl, actually. Had a temper like an ogre, though. I quite liked her. I don't know if she graduated.
She got locked away.
she got lampreyed.
Oh no.
I don't know if that's actually canon.
Not canon.
Not canon.
Not canon.
Not canon. She just didn't.
Canon until this another plane that another spear that merges. But.
No, Fiona is canon though.
She and I weren't close.
Yeah, obviously. This is one of Cyrilla's ancestors. Duh.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the actual canon Fiona.
Fucking read the lore book, bro.
I forgot.
You mean the novels?
The novels that I read like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember every single name.
Oh god, it has been that long, huh? I
It
should
has
reread
been
those.
a while. Yeah.
Honestly, I should reread them just for like keeping shit straight for this.
It's more exciting than reading the wiki.
It is. Definitely.
I'm gonna read the comics for sure.
So as you
yeah.
gather up your supplies here, as Ramin joins you and makes his introductions, you see those details about him. He appears to be a merchant of some kind, and it seems to be in fairly good mood.
That's good. He's an old retired fighter, so I'm glad he's in a good mood. Most of them aren't.
He survived. What's there not to be a good mood for?
It's true. Yeah.
He survived long enough to retire from fighting. That's like the best ending you can get.
Yeah. And Ophir is these days a much nicer place than the North. Although he lives here, but you know.
Hilton, is this the friend that you said you were contacting?
Yes. I've had too many close calls these days, and I'll fill him in kind of on what we're doing here. And if we're hunting some sort of a creature or maybe a serial killer that is kidnapping children, I would like to not be the first adult in a while he slays with my limited, meager combat prowess. So I called upon a warrior to be my bodyguard for a while.
You shot a warg in the eye from 100 meters away.
And I don't think I could do it twice.
Well, I am very glad that you called me, because I'm happy to help. This has been quite a concern in our community, and
Oh yeah,
yes,
he lives here, of course. He would have a stake in this.